So, welcome to another Silicon Valley podcast. And we've been doing better at this. We're becoming slightly better at doing podcasts. What do you think?
I think I'm enjoying the process and I'm having fun. And that's one of the most important parts. And also, we're getting to meet more of you all. If you don't know us yet, we are Latinos that are building technology in Silicon Valley. And we're sharing a bit more about our journeys, our learnings, the people we meet, the cool things that are happening here. As we keep saying, being here feels like we get 10x of learning, 10x of network, 10x of experiences. But we love you. Welcome. And today we're going to start with the topic of the day. Andre,
Yeah,
what are
so
we going to talk about?
yeah, last time we were talking about, if you haven't
Y
seen
Combinator?
Y Combinator podcast, at the end of the at the end of the podcast, we were talking about like, I don't know, this common, like fight between people because as a founder, sometimes you have to work 12 to 16-hour days. And other founders often tell you like, that's just dumb. There's like the 4-hour work week and like, like all this uh concepts that I don't know, like I haven't really understood, but I think it will be a great way to start this conversation on like, should you work 12 to 16 hours a day to be productive? Like, what is this 16-hour work day as a founder? Like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
yeah.
And I think we'll also be exploring the arguments for and the arguments against. But before getting to the arguments, I love to hear, Andrea, like, how does your workday usually look like in terms of time invested in working? And what does working mean for you? Because I think that's very important. Because some people think working just looks like one a specific task or nature of work, maybe can look different. So tell us, how's your day usually of work?
Um, so it's very unbalanced, if you ask me. Like, I usually like because I know it's unbalanced. I usually look for contrast. So in terms of like, for example, today it's a very busy day. I need to debug code a lot, and obviously, like the more hours I put, the better the product will become. And sometimes that means like spending 8 hours straight fixing this issue, then spending another 3 hours doing like customer research and analytics, and then coming up with another answer to how to make your product better. And throughout that time, you're just basically like putting down fires, like grabbing every single opportunity that you can. And you don't really have time to, well, I don't really have time to, like sit down and eat or I don't know, do exercise. So that's when contrast comes. For example, if today I couldn't do those things like 100%, then I just pick a day and do exercise only, or like eat a lot and spend time cooking, but I only do that and put focus. I don't know. That's like
And why do you think that works for you?
because it's like for example, many people I hear like they like having, like they're good, like they're in college and then they have a side hustle, right? And then they're like, oh, I'm doing good at my side hustle and I'm doing good in like college. But the thing is that someone else will beat you. Why? Because someone else who puts 100% of their focus and time into their side hustle, you're making 20K a month, they'll make 100K a month. They'll become better at the game at you do, than you do. And versus, like spending time in college and like getting, like BAs in your grades, versus like you could fully dedicate it to that and eventually become one of the best top 1% of your college. And it's all about, like yeah, deciding where to focus on, that will bring you like the most rewards, like as for your personality or like a risk assessment and stuff like that. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, if you divide your time, then you're not gonna be great. That's
Um, I see that that's the path you chose to follow, right? And that's the path you chose to follow because you have an objective. Like you decided that's the life you want to have. You decided that you want to be a builder, you want to iterate, you want to spend all your time solving those problems. But there's other people that have decided to also spend time or invest time doing other things that they find value in, right? And that gets me to the point I wanted to mention as well. So your day ends up having 14 to 16 hours. Um, but for me, the question is not only like how many hours should you work, but why would you work? Like, why are you working for, and what do you want to do truly? And I think that's where my answer comes in, because I'm also doing like 14, 16 hours a day. Right now it's 10 p.m. I started working at 7:30 p.m. Sorry, 7:30 a.m. Um, and for me, it doesn't feel like a lot. I want more. I wish there were more hours in the day. In my case, I feel like one of my whys is I see a problem and I really want to find a solution for it, and I really want to iterate towards finding that solution. So every day I'm finding new problems within my team, within my product, and I would just really want to keep going. I don't know if that's my personality or if I'm just very committed to the mission. Honestly, I don't know what the answer to that is. I just know this is the life I chose, and I really like it. Like I don't feel like I have to work 14 hours a day. I just really want to. I really have fun doing this. And even if I stop, because I do stop during the day, I do stop to I don't know, to meditate. I do stop to read. My work day looks different to Andres. We co-live in San Francisco. My airpods falling. And our days might look different, but for me, those things also contribute to work. So for me, working is also getting inspired, reading biographies, reading articles and whatnot. And that leads me to another thing, like Andre, for you, a work day, does it only look like coding on the computer, or does it involve other types of tasks?
No, of course. It like it's so the definition you're saying about like working and obsessing over like a single goal, but everything you
Mhm.
do during the day feeds to that goal that you want to achieve. And it could be like meditating for 30 minutes. That's still work
Yes.
because you understand
Uh-huh.
that that meditation will make you more productive for the next hour or more creative
Mm.
or something like that.
Mhm.
But you purposely choose the time to meditate so that you
Mm.
become more efficient and achieve your goal. You're always
Yeah.
thinking about your goal, even when you go to sleep,
Mhm.
even in your dreams. Like that's how you
Yes.
obsessed you become. And like
Yes.
kind of like why you start defining because
Mm.
it's that when you start dividing your attention, then you feel like you work 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours per day. But when you are obsessed and you want to make something come out to life from
Mm.
literally thin air, just an idea, then you're gonna like is that I really don't understand, Sophia. I really don't understand when people tell me like I worked 4 hours and like done. I'm like, what? There's so much to do. Like when you it's like a piece of art, a piece of art or like
Mhm.
a song or anything, like it can just like get better and get better and get better, and it's like just a
Mm.
constant, and then like the market mores in terms of like what else they want to hear, so you start iterating again and again and again, and it's like a piece of art that never ends.
And right now, I was actually thinking about an analogy of art as well, because for the artist, I'm also an artist, by the way. I'm a poet, and whenever I have dedicated myself to write a poem, work for me on a piece of poetry is not only about the time where I sit down and write. It's also when I'm at the park or when I'm walking, even when I'm working. I have in the back of my head like, oh, this could be added to the poem. Like this could be this is a beautiful thing to add. So for me it's like there's a why, which is the poem that wants to come to life, and every other experience is adding to the potential material of that piece of art. And that's how I feel about work. And as you were mentioning, I also feel like the word work has been corrupted. Some people have attributed work to being something that's tedious,
Negative.
that's
Yeah.
boring, that's recurring, that's negative. And for me, work is where I most can play, where I most can have fun, where I most can contribute, learn about myself, learn about others, engage others in a process of creation, innovation, and I love it. And I love it. And in my case, of course, and like you, I diversify in my actions, but that doesn't mean it's not work. For me, that's part of it, because as I see it, my life is my biggest work of art or my biggest work of innovation. It's just that my life, I have chosen a mission for that life, and everything I do, I oriented to that. And maybe right now, like, my mission is one specific thing, and maybe it will change, but I'm always working, and I love it. And yeah, I'm very excited right now talking about it as well.
Yes. Okay. So, I think we'll cut this video short because I really have to go and keep working.
Yeah.
Just because I have deadlines and I'm almost solving something very hard. But I hope that that you get to find the thing that you're so driven about and passionate about, to get to this point where work feels like play for you. And if you achieve that, you won in life.
Yeah, and also wanted to add, right? Andrea and I have very similar personalities in the terms of obsession and work and how we see that. Other people and other personalities can see life differently. And maybe for you, it's another word. Maybe it's not work. Maybe for you, it's other activities that make you feel like you're living life to the fullest. And what I would invite you to look into is like, why? Like, why are you doing things? What tasks are you choosing, or what experiences are you choosing throughout your day to build your life? Call it what you want, but may it be very fulfilling for you as well. And if you're a founder, I am so glad we're on the same boat. This is fun, man. So let's continue building. See you all. We love you so much.